we're back and we're doing an e-bike frame today. We're going to do this frame in Ultra Illusion Green. It is a illusion color. It requires a clear. This is a Tutudio. This was laser etched. So that's just going to be there. There's nothing I can do about that. But this is cold right now. The first step I'm going to do, I'm going to select my plugs, put them in a bucket. So I got those ready to go. And then I'm going to put it in the oven and preheat it. I'm going to pull it out, put my plugs in, put my hot coat on, let it cool, put a double coat on of the base. Then we're going to bake it. We're going to pull it out, let it cool, and we're going to clear it. We're going to show you all that. All right. We're going to get to it. You ready? All right, then let's do it then if you're ready. All right, let's do it. All right, can we see what we're looking at here? Oh, look at there. You guys can actually see. Okay. We got to kind of hustle because we are putting in plugs. Okay, just a little tip. Anytime you're putting plugs in, you get a sealed tube like that. The air expands, pushes your plugs out. See, I got a hole in one. It's a hole in one, like golf, you know? Oh, Lordy Lord, it's hot. Oh, Lord. Boy, these plugs are just about too big. Okay, they're too big. They're right in between two sizes I got. Are you going to stay? Please stay. Thank you. No, hell no, they're not going to stay. No, man. And it went down here. Oh, this is death. This ain't going to work. This ain't going to work. I got to figure out something else. All right, how about universal plug? Watch this. What do? You make yourself a little cone, right? And you push it in the center. Bam, universal plug. You see that? I'm going to try to find something before the second coat, and sometimes you can make the two ends touch and it'll hold them in there. You know, you do this and make the ends touch. Don't do it. Whatever you do. All right. Sweet. All right, now you can put the rest of the plugs in. That's what you do in case of fallout. In case of fallout, you put it back in and take shorter strokes. This thing's pretty much gonna cool before I get the plugs in it feels like, but you know, it's a thought that counts, right? I don't necessarily have to have this smoking hot. I mean, it's not a definite requirement, so it's not a big deal. I just want to get it expanded so that we can get a pretty decent coat on it. You notice I got a bucket here. Well, the reason I'm able to pull these out of there and I know where they go is because I rehearsed this already. And not just because I'm doing YouTube, but because I rehearse it every single time. I put all the plugs in, I look at it, I'm like, okay, that's all the plugs. And then I pull them out and put them in a bucket. That way you just put them in until there are no more. And when there are no more, you know that you got them all. It makes it pretty simple. I got certain ones that got to go in certain places. I got some of these plugs that have handles on them, and I put those in places where they're hard to pull out, you know, where there's an interference or a clearance issue around them. God, how many more do I got anyway, really? How can there be that many more holes? Have we lost our shit here or what? There's a gazillion holes, by the way, just in case you was wondering. This is why I rehearsed this, because it's forever and a day just with the plugs. I'm editing most of this out anyway, so you won't see it. Don't worry about it. It'll be all good. Geez, it might not even melt. We might get lucky and we'll be able to just not have to second coat the base. All right, well, that's what we get. All right, now we're going to turn the booth on, hook our ground up. Unprepared here. All right, white hat, engaged. Trying to get, this neck goes all the way through, so I'm just kind of trying to get in there. before this tape falls off. It ain't gonna fall off, but I wouldn't worry about that. So we're just going around to put a real quick coat on it, trying to get it in the spots that it's likely to not want to go, that sort of thing. You don't want to get too carried away here. If you got a hot coat, like, okay, so let's say like what I'm doing now. I got a hot coat that's been cooling for a while, okay? This is where you can get yourself into trouble when you try to force it in a place where it doesn't want to go, because it's hot, but then it's really not hot enough to help you with the cage area. So you wind up building too much material in that spot. You got to be careful with that. So what I do on this particular setup here is I'm just going over it real fast, and I don't really care what it looks like at this point. I'm just trying to make it green. At this point, if we can make it green, we win. That's all that matters right now, is to green it all up. Now, I think I'm pretty happy with that, even though it's a blotchier than all get out, but that don't matter right now. You can't have blotchy when you, non-blotchy when you spray it hot, especially with a metallic. That's one of the reasons why I teach you guys the way I do, or show you. I'm not really teaching you anything. If you were here, I might be able to teach you, but is because there's a lot of stuff that's a lot easier to get. You make your customers a lot happier if you spray it hot. Now you see how blotchy that is? It's terrible. It's like silver around here, and oh, it's bad. I really want to get it through the middle of this neck area for some reason. Even though it's not really a requirement, I just want to do it. All right, I think I'm happy with it. I'm not going to overdo it. I'm just going to give it a light inspection to make sure I got all the crannies. And don't forget the nooks. If you got the crannies, then you got to look around and make sure you didn't miss any nooks. Oh, there's a nook. Oh, that might have been a cranny. All right. I don't even know what a nook or a cranny is. I mean, honestly, have you ever seen one? Do you know what it looks like, really? I mean, what picture do you put next to that in the dictionary? I don't know. I say it a lot, but I have no idea what it is. That just goes to show you I'm an idiot. That's what this whole YouTube adventure is about. It's to prove to everyone on the planet that I'm an idiot. I'm doing it. I'm doing a good job at it too, boy. I mean, all right, I guess I'm happy with it. I'm going to stop here, stand here and looking at it. And let's just look it to death. And we're going to let it cool down. I'm going to leave everything alone, let it cool. And then I'm going to come back when it's about maybe 130 or so-ish. And we're going to dust it up from a distance. So we'll even it all out. And that'll be that. You guys are way up there on the ceiling and stuff. So it's hurting my neck to look up there a little bit. So we'll see you here in a minute. I'm going to rest. It's been a hard day so far. I'm doing this. This is what I've done. It's early in the morning though, so we'll be all right. All right, we'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, it's been about 10 minutes. This thing has cooled down. That's the neck and the plates are like 130, so that's good enough. And really what we're going to do now is we're going to maintain our distance, and we're just going to put an even fluff coat on it just to even it all out. You see how if you look up here all around, it's all blotchy looking? And that's what we're trying to eliminate. Actually, what you want to do on these two is you want to do the inside stuff first if you can. It'll help you a little bit to eliminate the blotch, because it doesn't like when you stick the gun inside the part. The metallics get a little weird. So I am going to go inside the part first. Plus the outside is really the showpiece anyway, and you don't, how do I say this? If you had to have something blotchy, you don't want the outside of it, the big part of the frame, to be blotchy. So get all your other stuff done first, and then even up everything you see on the outside, if that makes any sense to you. Hopefully it does. Makes sense to me. All right, now I'm going to go around and kind of look a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go around the outside and just even it out a little bit. It's really all we got to do. And even being out here helps even the inside out because it's going in there. And this is from a pretty good distance. You know, you notice how I backed way up on the coat where I'm trying to even it out. You want to back up where the electric's kind of even. That light hat's toning out on me. All right, it's always a good idea to get down and look up. All right, that's about it for the frame of the Toady. I don't know why it's just, that's how, I mean, that's its song. All right, we're gonna just dust this up. I don't really have anything that's hard to get, nothing that I have to really even out. Well, the whole thing needs to be evened out, but nothing that I need to make sure that I got it all. It's always good to check in and around these dropouts in the back. I have a plug in there for the chain tightener, and I want to make sure I get around that plug that's in there. All right, so now what we do is we strip all the plugs out of it. We might not be able to do this on YouTube because I cuss a lot sometimes when I touch it. But that's why I like the ones with the handles. It's a lot easier to not touch them. Yeah, I like to take my plugs out. It just makes a cleaner job. I don't really care about the plugs. The plugs aren't I mean, it does make the plugs last a lot longer, trust me. But it just makes the cleaner job because I don't have that flashing around the, yep, that's got to go. And those are one-time use type deals. When you make a cone, that's it. You use it once, you throw it away, it's done. Yeah, a lot of you are like, yeah, you're stupid. Why are you taking the plugs out? Well, it's because I'm stupid. You already know. I just like the look. It just gives a nice clean look around the holes. A lot of people are like, man, how did you do that? All right, there we go. All right, we're gonna go in the oven with this. We're gonna bring the whole thing up in the 330 range, 330, 340. It's nice and even everywhere. Looks really good. I'm happy. You better be happy before you put it in the oven, because one time you put it in the oven, it's all over with. The fat lady sings when you put it in there. All right, so my light hat's dying. We're done. All right, we're gonna go in the oven. Probably isn't gonna be, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes in the oven, whatever it takes to get to 330. And then we're gonna pull it out and cool it. We'll come back and clear it. We'll show you that here in a minute. All righty. See, isn't this fun? It's just, I mean, you almost can't contain yourself. Just try if you would. All right. We'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, we're back with the Ultra Illusion Green, and we're about to put the clear on it. I've already put all the plugs back in it. You guys missed that. I should have filmed it. You guys are sad now. I could take them back out, put them back in on camera if you want. No, you don't. It was freaking boring as hell the first time. All right. So I got my gun set at 30 kV, 5 microamps. The name of the game here is to maintain our distance. So we are going to roll with it. Oh, and the other name of the game is, see this here? See this? That's called the ground. You want that on there. And I'm going to do from this side so you guys can see the wrap. And whoopsie. All right, a light hat, please. Maybe for a little while. All right, good gun distance and just let it eat. All you got to do is cover that up, turn it into a marshmallow, you're done. Not real difficult. Well, in some areas it might be. All right, we got the back side of that. Oh, guess what I did? I didn't put the plugs in the chain tighteners. Shame on you, Mike. Bad powder coater. Bad fluffer. Bad fluffer. All right. We want these in there. Probably be a good idea. They're very difficult to tap. Well, if you got the right tools, they're not hard to tap, but they're right up against the dropout. So, yeah, most people don't have those tools, so I try not to put them in that situation if I can keep from it. Some people selectively plug stuff. I try to plug it all if I can. All right, we got that's pretty good. You notice how this side's already almost coated? Don't fall for that though. You got to go over it, just a quick little buzz coat, and you'll be good. All right, so on this, we're gonna kind of try to keep the gun out of it at first. All right, don't put the gun in the frame at first. All right, you want to try to get as much of it as will go on there with the gun outside the frame. Does that make any sense? Because what it'll do, if you put it in the frame, it'll start pushing the material off. But if you get it on there, in the places where it'll go outside the, when the gun's outside the frame, then you'll see that if you just keep it outside of it, you're not really going to have to put it in there. A little bit, maybe at the end. You might have something that's a little resistant or giving a little bit of troubles. I clear built up trying to get those things on the end. So you got to watch out for. And a lot of times just going around getting the field or the big part of the area is going to get most of it anyway. You're not going to really have to fart around and put the gun inside of it. You will at the end, but at the end, it's already covered where it's covered and it doesn't push it off and it'll go where it's not covered, if that makes any sense. It's just a little tip that I'll give you, just it makes it go on a little easier. And that goes for wheels and everything. If you can coat most of it without putting, my gun has a deep recess mode where you can put it in that mode and you're supposed to be able to put the gun down in the part. Yeah, don't do it. That don't work either. That does work. It's better than not, but so this is the part where I got to get in there. There ain't no two ways about it. Because this is the part where you got to get to clear where it's got to go now. If it didn't go from a distance, this is where you got to get in there a little bit and try to get up to it. Another thing that I'll tell you, if the gun starts and flows well, don't run the gun until you get in there. Like I'm gonna put it in there, then I'm gonna run the gun. All right, I'm gonna stop the gun, I'm gonna pull it out. It'll keep you from screwing up everything that's out here that's already done. See, I'm like light in this corner here, right? So I'm gonna put the gun in the part, then I'm gonna pull the trigger, and then I'm gonna pull the gun out of the part after I let go of the trigger. And it just sucked it right in there. This is what you want. Sometimes just a puff of the trigger doing this works well. I will tell you when you're doing that though, the time it takes for your gun to turn on the electric, you got to kind of at least hold the trigger that long, if that makes any sense. Because the gun won't turn the electric on it. It's trying to keep from starbursting or back ionizing your stuff by flowing powder, then turning the electric on. All right, I think we got her pretty good. I'm gonna unplug it, and in the oven she goes. And that'll be that. It's in pretty good shape. Got a little heavy clear here and there, but this clear don't mind being heavy. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. We're gonna go to some glamour shots after this, and we'll show you what it looks like. Woo, there's some. Well, I tell you what, that clear loves the build. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. That's what you want, though. You want a little bit of something on there. All right, I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time. Hopefully I'll do a video sooner. If I'm doing stupid ass nothing but black, it's hard to do videos on that. I mean, you guys don't want to watch boring stuff. I mean, even if I had something technical that was, you know, where I felt like I haven't done this 100 times, I would do it, but not too good. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time.